I will never wait until you go to come publicly and let you know the kind of contribution you have made. Your legacy will never fade. Your constant lyrics and tempo lit up the streets of Roseau. The way you transform character, you are a real kingmaker. Indeed, your contribution deserves much recognition. You are never deprived of your flowers while you are alive. Pato, before you go,
Pato, before you go,
the country wants you to know.
Pato, before you go,
Pato, before you go,
Pato, before you go,
oh, we appreciate you so.
Pato,
You are a real hero, a calypso maestro, the best that we ever had. A master lyricist, champion specialist.
there is so much more we can add.
So Pato, before you go,
Pato, before you go,
yes, we want you to know.
Pato, before you go,
But Aaron, before you go,
Pato,
love and your flowers just want to show. Hey Lord, neighborhood, li-di-di-di-di-di-di. Neighborhood, neighborhood, I just want the world to know. Ba-da-ba-da-da-da, da-da-da, ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Hit me, neighborhood, neighborhood. So I just wanna let you know, you served as performance journalist
for news and media's would dismiss.
You craft the way you brought the news.
Who had cocoa in red were not amused.
The critics said you were biased. He's only one that you gave your blast. And if a man was not your friend, you would jam him till the end. But no one can question
Your passion and your brilliance
so many you get a chance
to help their talent advance.
Pato, before you go,
Pato, before you go,
the country wants you to know.
Pato, before you go,
Pato, before you go,
Pato, before you go,
oh, we appreciate you so.
Pato,
You are a real hero, a calypso maestro,
the best that we ever had.
a master lyricist, social activist.
There is so much more we can add.
So Pato, before you go,
Pato, before you go,
yes, we want you to know.
Pato, before you go,
But Aaron, before you go,
Pato,
love and your flowers just want to show. Hey Lord, neighborhood, I just wanna let them know. Neighborhood, neighborhood, so I just wanna let you know. Ba-da-ba-da-da-da, da-da-da, ba-da-da-da-da, ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. Say again, neighborhood,
so I just wanna let you know.
I share me the blanc.
A true legend is who you are.
The legacy that you create
Will leave a mark that's truly great.
the way you serve your country, you work to raise its dignity. You help calypso till it's soared and never look for no reward. You did your do with passion as a true Dominican. Come on, second, take a bow.
I'm giving you your trophy now.
Pato, before you go,
Pato, before you go,
the country wants you to know.
Pato, before you go,
Pato, before you go,
Pato, before you go,
oh, we appreciate you so.
Pato,
You are a real hero, a calypso maestro,
the best that we ever had.
a master lyricist, justice specialist.
There is so much more we can add.
So Pato, before you go,
Pato, before you go,
yes, we want you to know.
Pato, before you go,
But Aaron, before you go,
Pato,
love and your flowers just want to show. Hey Lord, neighborhood, I just wanna let you know. Neighborhood, neighborhood, I just wanna let them know. Ba-da-ba-da-da-da, da-da-da, ba-da-ba. pace and tempo. Lit up the streets of Rosso. The way you transform character, you are a real kingmaker. Indeed, your contribution deserves much recognition. You are never deprived of your flowers while you are alive. Pato, before you go,
Pato, before you go.
the country wants you to know.
Pato, before you go.
Pato, before you go,
Pato, before you go.
oh, we appreciate you so.
Pato,
You are a real hero, a calypso maestro,
the best that we ever had.
a master lyricist, champion specialist.
There is so much more we can add.
So Pato, before you go,
Pato, before you go.
yes, we want you to know.
Pato, before you go.
Aaron, before you go,
Pato,
love and your flowers just want to show. Hey Lord, neighborhood, li-di-di-di-di-di-di. Neighborhood, neighborhood, I just want the world to know. Ba-da-ba-da-da-da, da-da-da, ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Hit me, neighborhood, neighborhood.
I just wanna let you know.
You served as performance journalist.
For news and media's would dismiss.
You craft the way you brought the news.
Who had cocoa in red were not amused.
The critics said you were biased. He's only one that you gave your blast. And if a man was not your friend, you would jam him till the end. But no one can question
Your passion and your brilliance
so many you get that chance.
to help their talent advance.
Pato, before you go,
Pato, before you go.
the country wants you to know.
Pato, before you go.
Pato, before you go,
Pato, before you go.
oh, we appreciate you so.
Pato,
You are a real hero, a calypso maestro,
the best that we ever had.
a master lyricist, social activist.
There is so much more we can add.
So Pato, before you go,
Pato, before you go.
yes, we want you to know.
Pato, before you go.
Aaron, before you go,
Pato,
love and your flowers just want to show. Hey Lord, neighborhood, I just wanna let them know. Neighborhood, neighborhood, I just wanna let you know. Ba-da-ba-dee-da-dai, dee-da-dai, ba-da-ba-dee-da-dai, ba-da-da-dai-da-dai, do. Say again, neighborhood,
I just wanna let you know.
Aïe, me dit d'aïe blanc.
A true legend is who you are.
The legacy that you create,
We'll leave a mark that's truly great.
the way you serve your country, you work to raise its dignity. You help calypso till it's soared, and never look for no reward. You did your do with passion
As a true Dominican,
Come on, take and take a bow.
I'm giving you your trophy now.
Pato, before you go,
Pato, before you go.
the country wants you to know.
Pato, before you go.
Pato, before you go,
Pato, before you go.
oh, we appreciate you so.
Pato,
You are a real hero, a calypso maestro,
the best that we ever had.
a master lyricist, justice specialist.
There is so much more we can add.
So Pato, before you go,
Pato, before you go.
yes, we want you to know.
Pato, before you go.
But Aaron, before you go,
Pato,
love and your flowers just want to show. Hey Lord, neighborhood, I just wanna let you know. Neighborhood, neighborhood, I just wanna let them know. Ba-da-ba-dee-da-dai, dee-da-dai, ba-da-ba-dee-da-dai-da-dai-da-dai-da-dai, do. Neighborhood, neighborhood,
I just wanna let you know.
Say again, I come and be Neighborhood, neighborhood, I just wanna let you know, I will never wait until you go to come publicly and let you know the kind of contribution you have made. Your legacy will never fade. Your constant lyrics and tempo lit up the streets of Roseau. The way you transform character, you are a real kingmaker. Indeed, your contribution deserves much recognition. You are never deprived of your flowers while you are alive. But oh, before you go,
before you go,
the country wants you to know.
before you go,
But oh, before you go.
before you go.
Bon, spécial bonjour pour tout le monde à tout quoi la Dominica et aux Antilles. C'est un grand plaisir pour nous là encore. Nous avons déjà bienvenue sur une émission spéciale pour le Sassia Créole. Nous avons une spéciale émission aujourd'hui. Good morning to you wherever you are. Welcome to another Creole Handbill program. It's a historical one by this. We are presently in the scenic Roseau Valley community of Mount Prosper and at the home of the legendary Pat Aaron. And we are going to actually have a lovely discussion on his story. He has been a prolific songwriter, a musician, a kingmaker, an accountant, and so many others. Joining him will be two of his childhood friends, Kelly the Ghost Williams and also Tim Dura, and it's a pleasure for me to be among these heroes. Today will be Pat Aaron's, but very soon we'll be doing the same for Kelly the Ghost Williams and Tim Dura. And I would have known, as someone very close to Roseau, some of the work that they did in the very early years with Naked Feet. We'll get the whole story, but let's say good morning to whoever you are. We are live on Q95 FM, also Multi Solutions Inc. Also, we are live on MO News and DNO, and it's a pleasure to be with you, our producer, Pa Ben Sarah. Good morning to you. Welcome to another Creole Handbill program, and good morning to you, the legendary kingmaker, the musician, Pat Aaron. Good morning to you.
Morning, Alex. Morning, everybody. Morning, listeners in Q95, DNO. Wherever you're, good morning and welcome.
Okay, also good morning to Tim Dura and also Kelly the Ghost Williams. Welcome to Creole Handbill. And this morning we're going to have a wonderful celebration of life, levity, kaiso and more kaiso, and genius of one of Dominica's greatest ever. Good morning to you, Tim. Good morning to you, Kelly the Ghost Williams.
Yes, morning. It's a pleasure to be here.
How are you feeling, Pat? How are you this morning? How are you feeling?
Well, I'm feeling good this morning. And you see, one good thing about here, wake up every morning breathing nice, fresh air. And then coupled with this program there, makes it a little better, wonderful day. What I like to do, can I start the program before the prayer?
No problem, man. Let's do that.
I get going through my lyrics.
No problem. No problem. So you're going to lead in prayer, Pat?
Yeah.
No problem. We are going to have a prayer by the legendary Pat Aaron before we start our mission here this morning. Let's go back.
My favorite prayer always. The good Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want for anything. He makes me to lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in the path of righteousness for his name's sake. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. For thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord our God forever and ever. Amen. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much. But over 50, possibly 60 years ago, as, let's say, a student, You with some friends, both of them are here. We know of Randy, your brother, and several others like Bobby Frederick. But how it really started for you getting involved in music and getting involved in songwriting?
Well, it was unavoidable, you know, because back them times when anybody make a mistake or do something wrong, say, Kelly make a song about Mister, Pat make a song about Mister, you know, make a song about Mister. So we got into the habit, and the habit became culture for us. And that's why Tim and was there to bear witness to that. You know, guys like Loftus, Emmanuel, Ken Emmanuel, these guys always be in our case, because someone Mister, better someone Mister. So, you know, we go up with that. And that made us get together and form a band, Make It Fit, put us together. And after, and like Ghost was saying a while ago, Make It Fit, it was not just calypso, it was all kind of music. But what happened in Dominica, calypso is the music that seemed to have a time, a period of its own, and you can make a little more out of it. So eventually we came to calypso. But it wasn't always about calypso, it was about all types of music. But now it's calypso.
We will get into the whole calypso aspect of it in a while, but Tim and Ghost, you would have known Pat as childhood friends. You guys actually grew up. Tell us the history of you as young men and in the Newtown area.
No, musician started, he stated how it started. If you go on High Street, there's a step opposite Big G's where you nowadays you strictly people who drink you see sitting there. That used to be our stage, and I'm talking when I look back from late elementary school, early secondary school. That's where we would spend our evenings because we did not have no television at the time. So it's always about Tim, and that is where calypso started with us. If you hear the voice, it's just the little flu that was there, you know. So that's where we started and making songs as musicians said on one another. And we had people like Picky, and anything that go wrong for the day, somebody would come. And we're not talking about writing the calypso at that time, you know.
Yes.
Right away,
Example.
on one another. And some of them I can still remember, you know. And Picky was one of our main vocalists actually. So it all started there. You know, it was something we just used to fill up our time because no PlayStation, no telephone. So that's how and that's where it started. And it never stopped. It just continued. Musician was the one with the pen and the paper as we grew up. Most of us were just part of the gap. But he was the one. And I must say too, we used to read a lot. So it helped us in our writing. I say us too because, you know, and that is where musician, it was naturally, I don't think it was a decision that I'm going to do that, you know. It just grew naturally. Musician, the pen and the paper. And I can remember musician, what you call the Dominica Club at the time, would spend a lot of time in the quiet at the back there, and when he come back, he would show me what he had. And that's where it started, you know, just naturally, without planning, I want to be that.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's something that was just natural in him. We used to read a lot. In those days, there all kind of Mills and Boons and all kind of thing. You know, so I think that was what it was.
Hardy Boys.
Yeah, Hardy Boys. Oh, Hardy Boys, yeah. Exchanging food, yeah. So reading helped a lot, you know, but with musicians.
And with the exchange of comics and commandos
Oh,
and
yes,
Jugheads
Yes, a lot of that.
Archie.
Archie.
You know, so it started naturally with him, and without having to say where I want to be that. I think it was just a natural thing that when Jah chose you to do something, you know. So
Tim, you would have been from Good Hope area, coming down to town to attend secondary school, and here it is, you would have been housed at Patty Ron's mother's house.
Yes.
Tell us about the experience then.
His father's house.
His father's house,
On
yeah.
High Street. Well, I joined the journey after the period that Kelly's talking about, you know, where they used to sit on Manchi's steps
country, Good Hope, and I came down to secondary school. And at a certain point during that, period of my life, I ended up living on High Street. But before that, I had known Kelly, and his brother Ballhead. Kelly and I went to SMA together. So did Pat, but Pat was a little ahead of us, I think. Kelly and I were perhaps in the same form, different classrooms. I was in 102. I
So
think he was
St.
in
Mary's
101.
Academy, well, I feel even more privileged that we all went to St. Mary's Academy.
Right.
That's amazing, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So the three of us that were here today were SMA students, and so at a certain point, I ended up living on High Street. Through Kelly, our friendship. I got to meet Pat, and then there came a time when I had to find somewhere else to stay. When you're from the country, you always have to look for a place to stay. Sometimes, you may have to move. And I was just about at that point. I think I had just entered sixth form, or was about to leave sixth form, and so that's where the journey started. And the big part of my involvement in my association with Pat's journey was really my involvement in Naked Feet, and so when we get to that point, I can, contribute a lot more. But I do recall our conversations afterwards about Pat and how he started, and what Kelly just related. I'm very familiar with that. Where, he patched, and from that time, I think we recognized the genius of Patty Ron, where he was able to just write songs, just like that man, from the topics of the day, issues of the day, and everybody came to him to write. So I was not totally surprised when he turned out to be the master lyricist and songwriter that he has become.
How Naked Feet started, Pat?
Good question, Alex. Going back to what Tim was saying, Tim was the musical person among us. We used to compose songs from memory, not along with music. So Tim was the one who would play the guitar, and then he taught me, he taught Kelly, he taught all of us, and we learned from him. I learned key, and to sing in key, and we decided to form a band, Naked Feet. I was the bass player, Tim was the lead guitar, Kelly was the second guitar, Roy Shillingford was keyboard, drums we had were just Aaron and Corbo, Calvin Richards. Later on, we incorporated a brass side, and we went on for many years, entertaining the people, and it just got better and better and better.
As a little boy goes, I would recall Naked Feet. There was the Swinging Stars, and there was Naked Feet, and there were a few little bands, Wooden Stools, and there's Weedies around the city. But I recall Naked Feet mainly because you guys would have several concerts at the St. Gerard's Hall and Parish Hall. I'm not sure if you guys can remember those days.
Of course.
But tell us about those days
Tell you how far back. Our first jam was really that first Harlem. When with Lofty.
71, 71, 72?
And at that time I couldn't play guitar. I can't remember I was drumming. I was actually on the drum. But then something happened like when, and only drum could play. So I had to continue. And then eventually we had to stop on, and that was our first jam. And after that, I can remember, as musicians said, we had only one musician, which was Tim. Somebody had to learn to play guitar. Then we had other people like Rogers, who could drum, and then I ended up playing the guitar, back on bass and the rhythm guitar. And I don't know if Tim can remember 1974 Ash Wednesday when we came home. We saw downstairs musicians' home was the band house. And we saw some instruments there. I believe it was a cousin or so of Tim Durham who actually brought that there. They had a band somewhere in the Castle Rose, Sansover area. And when we came the Ash Wednesday after something, he brought that there.
Wow.
And that is where we actually started in terms of having equipment. I don't know if Tim can.
Yes. I mean,
you recall.
I was initially, and I guess it makes sense because I was the only musician who kind of provided the impetus, so for the band to really start going by trying to help all the other guys, to learn the music. I was made band leader, right? Eventually, Pat would. But we'll come to that.
No, because what I'm thinking of is, if you were the only musician, how come the name musician became the name for Pat Aaron when he sang calypso?
Well, he was already a musician when he
By
started
that time.
calypso, so he had to give it right to right musician if he wanted to. But he can explain to you exactly why he chose the name. But so because I was the band leader, that cousin of mine who lived at Salisbury, and he was managing a band at Salisbury at the time, he knew about Naked Feet. In fact, I had conversations with him about Naked Feet, and he indicated to me that there was this band in Salisbury that he was managing, and they were about to break up. And since he was the manager, he was in charge of the equipment, and I tried to persuade him, which I eventually did, to let us have the equipment to use, and that's how Kelly came to happened to see the equipment downstairs of the house on High Street where we live.
But for people who don't know and may not have lived during that period, Naked Feet was a real formidable force. And I recall, like Kelly was mentioning off mic and off set, I remember Tower of Love as a band, as I was a little boy, and possibly in history, that was possibly the biggest band ever I have seen in Roseau.
I think that's the only band that was on Free Streets at one time.
Yes. I believe. I saw it. I witnessed it.
The year was 1977.
All I can remember, the name Tower of Love. The music was kind of like Spooge.
It was Spooge. It was
Yes.
Spooge, yes.
It was Spooge.
Yes.
Because Spooge was very prevalent in Barbados.
Yes.
And you wrote this one part, Tower of Love.
Yeah.
Man. And then you guys eventually formed a carnival band named Tower of Love.
T-shirt, yeah, kind of a t-shirt,
T-shirt
band.
band.
That year I printed a few thousand t-shirts.
On stencil.
And for years after, I could hear the ponging in my head. The way we used to do it. And what is the beautiful thing about it? There were only about 15 men in the band.
Yes.
Out of about 2,000.
Yes.
Because our following was basically
Female.
I mean, 3 streets.
Yeah.
Just try to imagine the perimeter, 3 streets, and strictly women.
Yeah.
But I recall as a little boy, that's possibly the biggest band I ever saw live.
Yeah, at the time.
At the time.
Well, I haven't seen any recently with Free Streets. Not Free Streets, not Free. Well, because of the amount of bands on the road, it is possibly difficult to see one band, maybe occupying Free Streets.
Yeah, it was huge.
But it was a huge band.
Really?
It was a huge band. But Naked Feet themselves would have actually made an album, toured. You ever toured overseas?
Well, we had our times where, but I believe part of Naked Feet problem is we are probably too educated. Beside the music, we went to Guadeloupe just like the other bands. We ended up with an agent that was not the best agent. We found out whenever we worked, most of the money was going to him. And just as anything else, we were bright enough to know we didn't want anybody to use us. And we actually played, I don't know if a musician can remember, and Tim was probably part of us going back to Dominica because he went back home for about a week and he came back with those huge Christmas cards, those sweetheart cards. Tim, you can recall that?
From the girls back home.
So you come with all those cards and all those ladies back home. And then we had an agent who was basically stealing us.
Yeah.
And I can remember we decided we're doing something back. And he came with, everybody in Guadeloupe wanted us to play. Imagine
Fitzroy used to be with us more than he used to be with Exile, because he had Love Divide.
And Newton.
And he's from Cocoa too. And we had somebody, we must call his name Glenn John.
Yes.
Nothing could touch Glenn John.
Yes.
You know, everywhere we go.
As a brother of Linford John.
Right. Everywhere we go, people would have Glenn John in the air.
Yes.
And we decided when Tim come with that, and Tim came too with all kind of people asking us to play. And we decided, you know something? Let us go back home. You knew of Delgrace?
Of course, the boat by
Right.
Lionel Pinard.
And from the wedding, I can remember that well, the Sunday, our things went straight to Delgrace, everything. And I believe, according to a good friend of ours, Mangolong,
Yeah.
the guy got mad after because he had contracts upon contracts upon contracts. But he was a thief. Yeah. And we left. We came back, and from the time we came back, from the very first night, the next night we were in the upstairs, the bank. The bank was the first we played. Yes. Where NBD is right now. It used to be Barclays.
Barclays.
Right, they had that band, that place upstairs, like a sports club, like. Yeah. I can remember all those things. That the very first jam after that, and from that, believe me. We used to be playing, especially coming up to Fed St. Pierre. Almost every night of the week we'd be playing Naked Fit. You know, I don't want to steal the whole show.
So we actually hit the ground running, right?
Yeah.
But Alex, I do not want to.
I know. I want to get that story
show, but I just wanted
because you know before I go to the calypso aspect.
Okay, but
because this is a very important aspect.
All right.
Most people do not know about Naked Fit.
Yeah, absolutely. But I just wanted to suggest that. We talked about the song Power of Love, right? And the impact it had. And I think it was, in the main, responsible for the tremendous impact that the band had on the road. Yeah. And in my mind, that was one of at that time, the best non-calypso song that Pat had ever written. You know, in my mind. And I just thought perhaps Pat might want to tell us, you know, how he came.
Exactly.
Yeah, because it is a fantastic song. And there are a lot of people now who sing it and they still don't understand it.
The song.
You understand? Not that it is not easy to understand, but it is so deep, you know, that you have to think, really.
It is possibly easily Naked Fit's biggest song.
Yes.
Tell us about the song and how you actually penned this one, Pat.
Well, I don't remember what was the inspiration, but what I remember about that song is I was walking across the bridge, leaving Roseau, leaving Roseau. And there's this lady, you all know her, you know, a dark lady, they call her name was, I don't remember her name, but anyway, when I met her, I still always remember her. I was going across the bridge and she was coming into town, and the song was playing in the distance. So and she said, "Boy, first time I hear a song from Dominica, that song, and I got a song from away." You know? And that stayed with me, so I realized, okay, so that's the formula. You know, and I just rode from there on. But Tower of Love is a song inspiring people to go beyond themselves. You know? Go beyond themselves, go beyond the system and the things that keep us down. And Julia, my younger sister, I learned that song as well. Apart from Glenn doing a marvelous job with it. Julia too, because I remember once we were playing at Parish Hall and started playing the song, the band was playing the song. And Julia was in the crowd and she just came up and she took the mic from Glenn and started to sing the song too, you know. So, and I must say, people have never stopped telling me up to today, you need to record that song, you know, to record that song. Yeah.
I believe you should remix it. Remix it. You know, because our generation and even the new generation don't know about that song, don't know the impact of that song, and the lyrical content of that song is so profound, especially now. I believe you guys are alive still, should remix that song. There are lots of studios.
It would still be relevant there.
Of course.
Very relevant.
Of course. Well, at that time it was in Spooge. It was a Spooge because Spooge was the sound of the day. But it give it a nice, possibly a calypso feel, you know. or even a Cadas feel, a calypso Cadas flavor, more Dominican flavor, you know.
You
because
see,
it
the
was
strength of that song in itself is the melody. Eh?
the melody, man.
Yeah,
That is
the catchy
all
melody,
all I can hear in Kennedy Avenue is the Tower of Love. For people and now the funny thing about that is you could hardly hear the music. You
No,
could only hear
in
people
those days, yeah, it was
chipping,
the chipping and the
and a
vocals.
chorus.
Yeah.
For those who may not know, a huge chorus, an entire street just a chorus singing the song, and you could hardly hear the musical instruments because those days were not the big sound system.
Amplified, you know. that's
You know, I mean, this I've never seen that before. I've never ever seen that before. And I must, really congratulate Naked Feet for the part they have played, because it was basically Swinging Stars and then Calypso era. Most of the bands were overseas, and Naked Feet held their own, and eventually came to Cadas, because I remember Roy Lapo with that song Diabla.
Yeah.
And Diabla was in
Cadas.
Guadeloupe also.
Guadeloupe, you did this one also.
Twaza.
Twaza. So Twaza was the guy that stole you guys?
No, we did it with Lawati. Twaza stole Groovers and them.
Groovers, okay.
And the rest.
But then I really want a history to record that from Naked Feet, see what came off. See the offspring. The most prolific calypso writer, a calypso writer again, but the president of the possibly longest calypso writer, and another one of the finest calypso writers. So you mentioned something about the intellect of Naked Feet. I'm just trying to think of the best calypsos that were written in the last 30 years and how much the part that you guys played in allowing your intellect to pen the songs and make history. I really want to put it on record how important you guys were and continue to be. That is why I want after part to deal with you guys one-on-one. Pat, now we're heading into Calypso. Who dived into Calypso first? Was it you, Ghost, or Pat, or was it you or Pat?
I was the last.
It was the last. Yeah. So Pat went into the Calypso before you.
Actually, it was a conscious thing with, not only with Levi, Hurricane, because we were the musicians backing up, and we figured we could do a better job than some of the folks who were singing Calypso at the time. Then you had Levi, Hurricane, you had Redman,
that's Sinky Rabes.
Yeah, and the two brothers, because we already playing music and we understood music better than quite a few of those who were there singing already. Musician, and I wasn't supposed to be in it, because I was the shyest, the most shy of all the thing. But then the progression it reached is my turn now. I don't know, it never reached Tim's turn. You know.
I'll tell you.
Tim coming.
So
Tim
now,
coming back at you.
when it reached my turn and having to go on stage, that's why I end up with a costume.
So, Ghost, that is the reason why you have to close your eyes.
No. When I started, I had a costume like a ghost.
Oh,
I got blues for that because I can remember the judges who decided that they don't know who was singing there, and they don't know who was singing, and I didn't make it that first time because of that.
Imposter.
So after that, and the whole argument was Papa Vida was coming on stage, mask up all the while. So after that, I take out the costume and
start to
sing. But I don't know why Tim never.
Why you never took part? You stayed writing, but you never actually went to the forefront.
Yeah, interestingly, Rascally tells you that he was shy, right?
Yeah.
But he had the guts to go on stage, right? Even if he had to close his eyes from time to time. But I never felt that I had enough courage to go on stage and face a crowd singing calypso. I felt much safer writing the calypso than giving them to people.
So the bold one was the musician?
Yeah, absolutely.
If you would have to lecture some college students, Pat, as to what is calypso, what would you tell them?
Well, I would say calypso is a music form that recognizes and makes people remember what went on during certain periods of a country history. And calypso has to, the difference between calypso and the other musics is that calypso must have immediate impact. It's easier to write a reggae on a song than calypso, because a reggae song, the whole song will lead you, but calypso must have immediate impact. And because we write calypso for competition, mostly for competitions, you know. So I remember back those times, the Kelly forgot to mention, the first calypso I know we were dealing with was Picky, and after Picky was Zay, and Zay was my first crunk, really. I was about 22, 23, 65, 64, 65.
Yeah.
No, 70, yeah, 74, 75.
74, 75.
Yeah, Zay, we were one of our first crunk. And that time Randy, Ghost, myself, team, we were so involved in the calypso that we used to prepare presentation as well. And once they got that crunk, we came to defend the crunk next year. And we came up with a song, Zay on TV. The song was eventually saying in effect that I'm not going to come to sing, I'm going to stay home and you'll see me competing on TV. And it was a very great idea. It would have won the crunk again, but somebody tripped the cord backstage, and and the TV went off. And when you lose that kind of drive in a competition, it's difficult to go back and start.
I ask you the question mainly because some people may criticize that you always sing against the system, or you always sing against wrongdoings.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, to me, that is the most important thing in a calypso, is to give people a feeling of hope. Like Bob Marley said, all our redemption songs. So it's a song, calypso, to give people a feeling of hope. And I'm glad to say that to Alex, because people think I've been doing that against every government from the 70s. I've been writing against government, corruption, and writing songs of hope for people. So to me, I can't think of what else would get people so interested in calypso than to hear their story, to hear the solutions to their problems, to point out the problems and bring out the solutions to the problems.
What inspires Pat? I mean, how do you get it going? You think of the topics, or the lyrics just come to you naturally? How it happens?
Well, first of all, most songs, people the public have a part to play in it, because people always tell me what to sing about, what to write about, So I'm always mindful of that, because when they tell you, they'll listen more. So people always tell you what to do. Sometimes you hear maybe a song in the background. When you're playing something, you get a little melody, and even if you're missing the pretty melody, but these things inspire you. Everything is inspiration. Everything is an inspiration.
And you normally put your music together.
Yeah.
And how long normally it takes you to put a song together? Because I remember you writing for sometimes most of maybe 90% of Mascam songs in a season. How long it normally you start from when, or is it an ongoing thing you continue to write even after the season?
Well, there's no start, it's always ongoing. Always ongoing. And another good thing, when you have good artists, your artist, you have good artists, you can shape songs, you can these things are so many ways, so many things that inspire you, man. So many things inspire you.
One of your strengths, but is to look at the Calypsonian or the artists and the ability to write for them. And most of them different. Soul Post is different from Dice is different from Sai is different from Vigilante. But you have that knack, that skill to tailor fit songs for various artists.
Well, same way tailor makes suits to suit different people, different sizes. You know, I would look at it like that, you know.
Do you have a conversation with them, or do you listen to their vocal variations?
Of course. Like when I write for an artist for the first year I write for him, when he's on stage performing, I start looking at the next year. I see what he's missing. So next time I include that, and if the artist is good and I work for him, he work to you, he should make the finals. Once you have he's a good artist. Because I'm working with the artist. Yeah.
You have invested heavily into Calypso, and for those who may not know, you not only write, but you also record, you produce, you also have the mass camp. Tell us about that investment and returns on investment. How has it been?
I've thought about that so many times that the answer to that question. I would always say kind of breaking even, because although right now I don't have the expenses I used to have, having to find money to record songs and so, but
yeah, continue in terms of the investment.
Yeah, but Calypso and Dominica, it's very difficult to make money out of it because you spend so much. And there was a certain time when for a few years the CDs used to do very well. And but if I have to look at it overall, I would say it's a break-even thing, and it's a labor of love. Eh? It's love for Calypso and love for music and love for the whole art form. Let me stick to it, but you know, the population in Dominica is very small, and the piracy of the music by I think that will be a big problem. So,
Mascam as an organization, it's an investment. You have to, first of all, get the songs, write the songs, record them, then hire a band to play them, and put on a show, a production for the people, and based on gate receipts and, let's say, sponsorship.
Well, the sponsors also played a very good part in it. But in Shudong Mass Camp, there's only 1 year that we got paid.
1 year?
1 year, yeah. All the rest of the time we were just kind of breaking even. The sponsorship helped a lot, and then, you know, this, I mean, yes. So it was more labor of love.
You see Calypso and your contribution as a labor of love. If you didn't love it that much, you wouldn't have spent so much time and resources into it.
Well, if I didn't love it, it couldn't be done, because it doesn't leave you alone, you know. It has its own intoxication about it, you know. Calypso, and the whole carnival season, and the idea of being able to bring out the feel of the people's feelings. And the people used to make it, people used to appreciate it a lot too, eh? So
you also wrote part for regional Calypsonians. You didn't only write for Dominicans only, but you wrote for several artists overseas. Tell us about that.
Well, I've written for artists in Antigua, St. Lucia, St. Vincent, Grenada, Montserrat, Nevis. And my biggest success was from Grenada, Randy Isaac of Grenada. He came first one up with a song I wrote for him. And people don't say he kind of won the crown, they would say, but the king defense was so, the king had a very positive defense with his presentation. He sang a song saying, just in no colors, he's walking naked. And he had a socks, pantyhose socks. His whole body color, so that kind of giving the crown because he really walked out the crowd. But Randy, I got him first one up. There's 1 year too in St. Lucia, one of the most popular songs in St. Lucia with a young lady called, her name slips me now. And I have a further second one up in Montserrat. Yeah. So yeah, I've written, and up to today I still have people calling me
to write for them.
About that, yeah.
I'm going to tickle you a little. You were able to write for so many monarchs and possibly get about how many crowns have you gotten on the national scene? About 19, I think you told me of the record. About 19 crowns or more than that?
Maybe around 20, maybe 19, 20. So,
19, 20.
Yeah. But I don't really keep count because I always believe in.
I have some stats you might need to verify in a while. But I just wanted to ask you, you are so successful in writing for the others. You almost got the crown once. Why do you think you were never successful at writing for yourself to get the crown?
Well, I think my biggest impediment is my voice because.
The voice?
Yeah. Because when you're in a competition, Alex, when you come for the second song, if you're in the competition, if you do have a second song, it's very difficult to write a second song. Because your first song is playing your head so much that you cannot get it out in love to write a good second song. And working always makes me hoarse too, so by the time the finals come, I'm so tired and so hoarse, mostly tired, that man, if I could go and sleep after the first round and wake up, I'll do it.
Has there ever been a case where you wrote for calypso in the same competition you yourself was singing?
Yes, Hurricane, Peaky, Trinidad. Yeah, I've done that.
The year with Christophine, you felt you won? Most people on the ground said you won.
Yeah, I felt so. I felt that way myself.
Who beat you that year again?
Ventura, I think.
Ventura, it was Ventura. Christophine. Huh?
Yeah.
Utuafuya.
Yeah.
That was a big song. I just smile on that. That was a big song.
That was we made that song on, man.
We make that song on there.
More super early now.
Super hell.
That was a redundant question, right?
Yes. But I'm going to just bring in the brothers a little before.
Before I said, let me say, it was a response to Super Early, because I'm only going by Kelly Woman. I heard Super singing. Super is a guy, he's a very good artist, good singer. But the problem is he cannot wait to, he cannot hold back, when he can't hold back his cards. You have to bring it out right away. When I went by Kelly, I had Super singing. President and secretary always against me, fight them, and I said, fight them.
Oh, the wrestling song.
Yes, and the thing is now, I was working with him, because we were always good partners. And then I see he hit me, so wow, I said, wow, I will give me the answer, black man. So that was it,
So you responded to him. I want to bring in your friends who are also writers, in the whole arena. Let's just go back to, let's say, the 70s, 80s, and even the early 90s. And you have seen the progression of the calypso art form itself. Of course, you are the helm of the calypso art form. Earlier, Pat said singing against the system is very important, singing against wrongdoing. But even in your renditions and even some of those Tim wrote, you had varied topics. I think, let us pray, to my mind, that was one of your best. I'm not sure if you feel so, you maybe might feel Papa. But then Tim wrote several for Tarina, that almost every song for Tarina was gold to my mind. Are we having misconceptions about the calypso art form generally, or there needs to be more education so that at least even the younger people can understand how important that is for us, Tim and Goose?
I don't know what you mean by misconception, you know.
Well, the misconception is like as if,
But
well,
you see, times move in, and all genres, like I always see, will become folk music after a while. I don't know if it's the food we eating and the education we getting and everything, but things change. In our time, calypso was it. As you said, calypso basically is singing basically against the system from the time the griots and the whole everything else. We know that history. So it's always to sing a nice calypso sometimes doesn't work. Although, like you say, team, and believe me, one of my better songs was Endangered Species,
yeah.
which was
that's
sung
a
by
classic.
Tarina.
Classic.
Tim gave me a break, you know. When she come, because you're always troubling me, but I would not go on team turf.
Yeah.
But the youth team couldn't do it and they come. I wrote that one for, and I love that one a lot.
Yeah.
You know, because it wasn't political. Whereas Let Us Pray is political.
Yes.
And you see the difference over time that I think we used to mask a little bit more.
Clever.
In those days. That even the people, let me tell you now, Freedom is that jump on Tiweyo, you know.
Yeah.
Tiweyo Siopabo.
Yeah.
Freedom is that enjoyed the most, you know, and you're singing about them. You know, so over the years.
What about Sankey?
Well, Sankey, we're singing Sankey, yeah, well. You know, so Calypso is a recording, as musicians said, of what happening at the time. You can go back to a Calypso in 1970, and you will know what was happening in 1970. You will go to a Calypso in 1980, and you'll know what was happening, especially in terms of government and politics, because the politics always seem to attract people more. You know, that is why, I mean, musician and a lot of us is always about the politics. That's why that's in people's mind 24/7. And the more you can get something that will trigger people interest, you know, that's what you use.
Voice for the voiceless.
Yeah, you know, and especially as musicians see, when people come to you and they tell you, sing about that, you take the hint.
Yeah.
Because actually that is what they want.
Because
to hear.
that's the pulse. They are the people
yeah,
that
you know,
are the
and you
pulse.
listen to them and you tend to use what they tell you, you know. And that is what it was all about. And over the years it changed. And Calypso has a format. And surprisingly, you know, I was listening to one of the content providers today. We know what Bouillon is.
Yeah.
And she was comparing Bouillon and soca. Soca has almost like construction, almost like Calypso. And Calypso is not just writing, I mean, we're going through it with chalk dust and the intellectual side of it, where you have, you know, construction, even in terms of rhyming patterns. You know, you look for that in a Calypso. A proper Calypso will have proper rhyming. You have a chorus, a verse, an interlude. And one of the things, you know, that content provider was saying is, why they love Bouillon? You don't have to follow like Calypso.
Like format,
Yeah,
verse, chorus,
Simple structure, yeah.
verse, chorus,
Yeah,
like
it's
everything in one.
Yeah, I'm going to put nothing like forget something, just Bouillon.
Straight.
Yes, yeah, see
And rhythm.
what you want, and you know. So that's the difference. But Calypso over the years, and believe me, we trying hard. And I do think maybe we haven't got another musician, you know, and I think team out of it. I retire a long time. So the writers now, I do think they have the Calypso verve in them. What they have now is Bouillon. So it's going to be difficult to even try to, and me saying that, sometimes people tell me I'm talking against Calypso, but the reality is, I mean, I in it for 20 years, I like to say. And I see the difference. I see the crowds. We used to have 12, 14,000 people at the back of grammar school. We used to have a line from the playing field going all the way down to River Street, right? Today I sitting in the booth, and sometime every half an hour somebody come in, you know.
Wow.
You know, so.
Tim, I mean, I feel the skill of writing then back days, possibly the songs were simpler, but then the skill was more friendly for the patron and more melodious, more sing-along, you know, make people happy. Like you said, Tiweyo was melodious that the Freedomites sang, and it was against them. So it made people happy. Those days you find a lot of the songs now have you to listen. and don't have that same, it doesn't resonate the same way. That is why the film, is easier to accept, is more palatable to you.
Yeah, I agree. But you have to consider that everything changes. The only thing that in life that is constant is change itself.
Yeah.
So that the fact that calypso is changing or the things associated with calypso are changing is not something that we should be surprised, about, because it will inevitably happen. I think what we need to do is to see how because I think it's critical, it's important for us to do all we can to preserve the art form, but we have to understand that change will come, and then the question is how do we adjust to deal with that change? Okay, you mentioned, for example, the lyrics of the 60s, early 70s being a lot more patron friendly. Yeah, I agree. But what you must also understand is even that audience is changing. So those people are no longer there. So if you were to come, for example, a writer was to try to write, say, in the ilk like a saint, or an idol used to write in those days, a Racco used to write and try to come and present the calypsos in the same way, that they were sung, at that time. I do not think that the audience that was there at the time to appreciate that, who could identify with that type of calypso, is still around to do that. The audience has changed. So you have to cater. You might want to do the same thing in terms of what you are representing in the calypso. As Kelly was saying that, or the point you raised with Pat, is his songs are basically based on what is happening in society at the time that people want to hear about.
Yeah, but while I agree with you, Tim, there are some classics from yesterday that continue to resonate.
Yeah, that's
when
true.
you think of They Afraid, Never Hang Your Hat, Watch Your Bottom.
That is true.
But the solo, Mass in the Cemetery.
Yeah, but
that is I think it was given to Sai by Solo before he died. So it was.
You're right, Wadix, but it's like but they're exceptions.
Yes,
you said then right, the exception. So what I'm saying is not that I'm saying that if you try to write, say, a song like They Afraid, because I don't think They Afraid. I think the Afraid, the approach can still apply to today.
Yeah,
right?
because when I listen to They Afraid, Pat took some of the same philosophy with I Afraid of Them, which is the same for guys.
Right.
And Krong, with a new feel.
Right. So that's my point. But if, for example, Saint sang about Nick Romancy, right, back in the 70s, I do not believe Trendsetter tried the same thing with La Veille.
Yes.
Right? It didn't have the same kind of impact.
Yes, that's correct.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's correct.
So that's the point I'm making.
That's correct. Yeah, that's correct.
The way it was presented by the Saint back in the time when his audience was more in tune with what he was singing about, it impacted more.
Yeah.
The Trendsetter tried the same thing, but it didn't
have the same impact. With the 2 days audience, it's a different audience.
So that's the point that I'm trying to make. Yeah.
Pat, you wrote for several monarchs. Can you recall them?
Let's see, we got Zay.
Zay was the first. And what were the songs you wrote for Zay to win the crown? You wrote for him throughout his career, or just one particular year?
No, I wrote for him also.
All for his career, yeah.
Not his song, Try It, You Like It.
Try It, You Like It, yes, I remember that.
And I don't remember the other song, but...
It was about the grave, going down in the grave, I put in you in the grave, I put in... Yes.
Yes.
Okay, and after Zay was who?
After Zay, I think was Hurricane.
Hurricane. And you wrote throughout Hurricane's career also for him, at least one song?
Well, I wrote for Hurricane for quite a long time, and before Hurricane also won a Caribbean Crown, eh?
Yes, Hurricane won a Caribbean Crown.
Yeah.
Well, for Hurricane I had in 93, he won, Zay won in 78.
78, okay.
According to my stats, and Hurricane won in 93, 94, 96.
Okay, 3 crowns.
Okay, and then after Hurricane there was Bricks. Was there anybody in between Hurricane and Bricks?
No, Bricks, right. Bricks.
What songs you wrote for Hurricane? Can you recall?
Quite a few of them.
No, in terms of the crown songs. Can you recall the songs that led him to the crown? Hurricane had some deadly songs. I'm That Dangerous, you wrote that?
Yes.
On That Dangerous,
Yes,
because
yeah.
that one actually won the Caribbean Crown.
Wrong, right.
Caribbean Crown, yeah.
Where do we go from the Miracle?
Miracle, oh, that's another powerful one. I owe it all to you. You wrote that one also?
Yes, I wrote that, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
For Bricks, 97 and 99.
99.
Keep the Candles Burning was you, man, that is an all-time greatest.
Yeah.
Keep the Candles Burning, you wrote this one.
And myself and Tronada wrote this one.
And Tronada wrote this one. You ever wrote for Tronada?
Yeah.
But in the early days.
The Afraid.
You wrote The Afraid?
Yeah.
Wow. Boy, strictly hits you. And then Daddy Chess before this year, in 2001, he won the crown.
Yes.
With 2 songs he wrote for him. Both of the songs he wrote for him in 2001.
I believe I helped him with one, I wrote the other one.
Okay. And then Observer, 2002, 2003.
Tim and I. Tim wrote his slow songs and I wrote his fast songs.
Oh, so Tim wrote the slow and you wrote the fast.
Yeah.
Okay, so Tim have a few crowns also.
Of course.
And then we have Dice.
If we're missing somebody, let me see how we can.
What you saw initially in Dice that was different from every other Calypsonian part?
Dice is a very good actor.
And a very good actor.
First time I saw Dice, I saw him in a promo he did for Quenchy. And I watched the boy, I said, wow, the young boy, he have an international touch about him. So I went to look for him. I met him selling his stuff by 4 corners. Then he come and check me. That was the year after Scratchy. Remember, Scratchy made a big impression.
Yes, I remember Scratchy.
And that was it. So that the year after Scratchy, he sang Calypso for me. I read no song for Calypso for me was supposed to have been for by Tarzan the Jungle for Scratchy. But Scratchy and we fell apart in that same first year. And then I went to Dice came and I gave him the song Tarzan.
Tarzan, that was,
No, he didn't like it.
You didn't like Tarzan?
No, he didn't like it.
That's Dice?
Yeah, he didn't like it, so he brought it back. I said, okay. But I wasn't going to write the work with him, I said, if he don't like that song, what can I do for you? Yeah. But he's a very sharp guy. He left and then he came and said, okay, I'll take it.
All right.
You know.
And almost crowned with it.
Yeah, I mean, to me, he was the better artist that year.
You felt he won that year?
Yeah, man.
You beat that year you wrote for Observer or it was just Dice alone?
No, Observer, Dice.
So you had first and second.
I remember Johnny always told me, he couldn't understand why he didn't do the radio and then playing Tarzan. He said, that's not the Dominica calypso. If I was like I wonder why he played so much. So it was very different. And what I like about Dice is I went to the studio to sing this song. Dice came unprepared. He couldn't do the song. Tell him go home and come back tomorrow. Tomorrow the boy just come.
Wow.
Sing and go. You know.
You all had that kind of father-son relationship throughout.
Well, yes.
He had any input into any of the songs, or you took over and just dealt with the work and give it to him?
Well, I did listen to him a lot too. I listened to his point of view on issues, you know. So we can give him a song, make him feel like he's part of the song. Yeah.
When you look back at the 10 crowns, as a matter of fact, it was 2004, 2005, 2006, he three-peated there. Then 2008, 2012, 2013, and 14, so he three-peated twice. And then 2017, 2019, and 2024. When you look back at those achievements apart, and by the way, these are just monarchs, eh? And again, I did some more research again to actually get that you wrote for several other Calypsonians who didn't get crowns. But Peter Pross, Yakima, Sandy, Eka, Triumph, Duchess, and by the way, Duchess won 4 times. I think you wrote for Duchess 4. Duchess may have the record. 4 times she won the Junior Monarch and you wrote for all 4 times. Right. You also wrote for Spider, Picky the Beggar. You wrote the Beggar. Tronada, Defraid, Scratchy, Calypso for me. Then Soul Post, Young Bull, Sugar S, Della, Fadella, Vigilant, Son of the Saint, Bupli, Charis, Webb, Beno, Trinity, Ghetto Prince, Lady S, Leona, Daddy Miller. You can recall any others you wrote for that actually made it whether to finals or semi-finals that didn't really get a crown, besides those you mentioned? This is prolific. I mean, that no wonder this guy is a genius. And I mean, that is why it is important we brought him here today, so that our listeners and viewers can I mean.
This other guy, this Christian guy, Sharptooth.
Oh, Sharptooth. Yeah, he was a teacher.
Yeah.
Sharptooth. He was also a very good calypsonian also. But then, I mean, that body of work. Have you ever registered your work with any copyright society part?
Yeah, I do. As a matter of fact, I still do get a little what do you call it, payment?
Royalties?
Yeah.
Okay. Are there any songs?
Checo, yes.
You wrote for Checo also?
Yeah, several times, yeah.
I mean, co-wrote and so on for him? Or you wrote songs?
I wrote songs for him a couple of times.
For Checo, I thought he wrote the songs. And then, we're not even talking about the road matches. Dice won about 6 road match crowns. Sai won 3, I think. So when you add road match to Monarchs, I mean, who else is going to touch that kind of record? I mean, this is undisputed. This is unparalleled. You can still write Kaiso now, Pat? Can you still write Kaiso?
Well, yeah, I work with Web this year.
You work with Web this year?
Yeah, and who else?
Web you work with this year? You didn't work with anyone else?
I don't think so. Bob, I help Bob.
You assisted Bob with his songs?
Yeah, but Bob is a pretty much a fluent artist too, you know.
Oh, we didn't even mention Bob because Bob also won, I think, 2 crowns. One only took 2 song competition and then won, I mean, during COVID-19.
Right.
So that's another crown. And several road match Monarchs. Sai, Sai is the man. A guy who never actually got the crown, but was one of, I suspect your favorites, was Buple.
Yeah, Buple. Buple, man. Remember last year, Buple. Dominica remote control.
Is there any of your calypsos, when you listen to them today, Pat, resonates with you and you tell yourself, yes, I think this is one of my best work?
Well, most of Dice songs, Buple. Well, I mean, Hurricane, Unamba Dangerous. It's very difficult. I really don't know which is my favorite song when it comes to the calypsos, I don't think I can fairly name a favorite.
Difficult.
Yeah.
I am going to put you and then Ghost and them on the spot. You have criticized the format of the calypso in terms of the eliminations before. You felt that there are too many calypsonians. And then you also criticized the 3-piece band for eliminations. Why?
Well, I don't recall that. What I want to say about that is something I try to bring to calypso many times. I suggested to the executive that maybe we should have one artist at elimination, quarters, and semis. One artist brought in by the public.
Oh, brought in by the public, okay.
Yeah, because...
To the finals?
Maybe, I don't know about the finals, but...
You mean in each of the rungs, people's choice?
Yeah, that could be people more interested in calypso. And because every time you always find there's an artist who get pitched very bad, who should be in the top 4 or 5 and they don't make it at all in the lineup. That will keep the public people more involved in calypso. That'd be very good for the competition itself. That is what I wanted to push.
You also critique the amount of calypsonians on a night.
Well,
elimination night.
Yeah,
You felt it should be 2 parts.
Yes. It's too much for to ask people to come and concentrate on listening to the melody for 60, 70, 80 songs. You know, and no matter how good a judge is, you'll always slip away. You'll always slip away from the...
Because one of the reasons you gave some time ago is the judge is based on 60 songs trying to judge a night. You may miss a very good song or a few very good songs.
Of course.
Because the span of your span for listening is only so much.
Exactly.
And then you also criticize the band. The three-piece band, you felt that the elimination should be better than that.
Yeah, because a three-piece band, the artist have to sing his own brass with mouth. And sometimes now the songs, the way song is structured, you may not be able to get that feeling with just a three-piece band. I understand, you know, because a lot of artists to get to have band prepare and practice with all these artists. But I believe that if you have the two different elimination shows, you know.
Cut them out in two.
Yeah.
And then you select 8. Normally 12 goes. So you get 6 from the first 30 and then another 6 from the first 30, or the best overall in the 60.
Yeah, best overall in the 60, best overall.
Okay, all right. Boss, what do you want to say on that? As a former administrator, that's the same template you had. Is still there?
No, the thing is with the calypso, in the 60s we only had probably about 8, 10 calypsonians.
Yeah.
So all it had was the finals.
Okay.
When the registration started going up, we had to put in a semi-finals. The same thing happened with why we had a quarterfinals. As people getting interested and then the numbers going up. Now, elimination is something we used to do either in our band house or in Swinging Stars band house. That's what we used to do. But we used to enjoy it so much, elimination.
Yeah.
In the band house or in Old Grotto, that we figure the public should enjoy it too.
Yeah.
And that's when we started bringing elimination on the Bayfront, Freenis, and there are people who only used to go to elimination, you know, because that's where the joy was.
Yeah.
You would see people like Cockroach and even our DBS that ended up, you know, we used to enjoy it, and we figured the calypso audience could enjoy it too. Now, the thing about it, every calypsonian we decide, you know, since you want to sing calypso, we give you a chance to come on stage. And that's where it started. In the beginning, no, you cannot have 3 verses, 70 calypsonians. That's why we put it to 2. And the music, the free-piece band is actually to help people to sing in key and give them that little, you know, that's how it started. You know, in the times I know we used to have about like 80 calypsonians.
Yeah, I recall.
But people used to enjoy it. A lot of people used to come. What they wouldn't, we used to enjoy in the band house. We brought it out there and people used to enjoy it.
People still do enjoy the elimination.
It still have people that enjoy the elimination.
But then part observation is sometimes a few good songs while you're enjoying yourself.
In every competition, if you're going to choose 10 songs, it doesn't mean it's 10 good songs you have, you know. Yeah. You might have 20 good songs, but it's 10 people are going forward, so good songs will always stay behind. Now, we already discussed in terms of having 80, you put 40 and then you choose 10 in each. That is where you're going to have good songs sometimes staying behind. Very good song, and then in the second group you have some magic calypso making it through.
No, but then what he's saying is you tabulate overall. So you not just 6 or 6.
Two different.
You get the 2 different competitions, but then the best of the 2 competitions.
Yeah, well we spoke about that a lot. We had all those discussions, you know, and like everything is pros and the cons and everything, you know, and even then.
What about the People's Choice?
The People's Choice, no. Something Pat said there, I figure that could be something good. You're going to choose 20 people or 22. You choose 20 and let the people. But then that again is another thing. How you going to decide on that is something else too. You know, because you're trying to make things better, but you don't need to be more complicated. Because to choose 2 people, you'll still have the problem, you know. Because you might have 5, 6 people that you figure should be there, and then the public giving you, and then when you choose the 2 out of the 6, the public will still come back and tell you.
No, but the same way they do it, you know, voting and those days you can vote and WhatsApp a number, and, you know, you can do that through a telecommunications company.
The system might change, but it's still the same thing, you know.
No, but then basically there are some songs that the public favor.
Picky, you want to know what time you finishing? What time you finishing? He said 12, 5 to 12.
The picky, there are some songs that, like for instance this year, it was overwhelming that there are certain, at least 2 calypsonians that people felt that could have gone through. And, you know, most times there are always 1 or 2 that in the lead that they would be eligible for, according to what Pat say, to go to the next round.
Like this year, for instance, this guy, Calfa P.
Calfa P.
I mean, I don't see why this guy didn't make it for.
Okay, Calfa P.
You got,
you know?
I believe I had him on because it was a very good
Of course, Calfa P.
But then again, what you see, a lot of the public just judge on what they hear on radio and all those things,
That's
you know,
true.
and not on stage for the night. Because
Involved
you
in
can be
the
very
calypso.
good on records and everything, and that night, that 10 minutes you have there on that night,
Yeah.
it wasn't it.
Yeah, well, if on the
You know.
performance night you don't really deliver.
And a lot of times that's the problem. But because we hear your song on the radio and it's sounding so good, we figure you should make it. But that night there, on the night, that 10 minutes you have, you probably come hungry, you probably something, and it didn't work.
Yeah.
It didn't catch. So my thing is always the judge's decision is final.
Which we can maybe touch at the end if we have time, because this year I heard the most criticisms on the judgment of the judges, at least in the semis, in the quarters and the semis. Not that much the finals, but more or less the quarters and the semis. Yeah, we know of the controversy with the 1 point for the finals, but there were lots of issues for the quarters and the semis. That I believe at some point in time the association should get the judges to face the public, because that behind the scenes, leaving the public with their imaginations and their own favorites, and it's still leaving them ignorant, because there isn't enough education on why we selected whatever. I hope you understand where I'm going from, team. And it continues to be like that, because calypso lovers will feel they know calypso enough to know a good calypso when a man performs. You know? And then there are evidence of overwhelming support for Calfa P, let's see. Is 7 or 9 people, they knew better what the thousands of people saw?
But you will always have those that should have been there and those that should not be there.
Agree. So that's why
And
his
I don't
point
think
could
you
be
can
considered.
is 1 in a million times you'll get, yeah, all 9 should be there. Because a lot of times when people tell you that, yeah, which one you're going to take out to replace that one, the same person
It
cannot
always
tell
having
you.
it always having one that is favored, man. We just do not want to call the names to allow the calypsonian to feel pressured because he was selected. But we always know, the fans always know which one that's not supposed to be there, you know. The fans always know team. I mean, out of the 10 you select, the fans always know the weaker one, that's there, or the one that possibly, because of their big name, they slip through.
No, but if I go to something else again, over the years, the people will tell me that when musicians write for you, it's almost like you get extra 10 points.
People that say that.
All those things I used to get. All those
In
comments.
the judgment.
Yeah, in terms of...
So there used to be a bias for songs, partner?
If Pat is the writer, automatically you
get 10
extra
points.
Yeah.
Let us hear
That
from
is the
team.
public, but I know that's not what it is.
Let us hear from
You
team.
don't tell me that.
Let us hear from team in terms of some of the comments.
Yeah,
that,
but this is a complicated thing, yeah? Really, it's not a simple, straightforward thing because there are pros and cons. I think the ultimate objective, the aim should be to put a judging system in place, right? That is beyond reproach. I know that too is difficult, but I think that's what you should be aiming for. Because, well, in terms of the people's choice, okay, I think it would be a good thing for the show itself, you know, to include, you know, the public's participation. But you have to ensure that it is properly structured. You know, at what stage, for example, do you implement it? You know, is the quarter?
It will be elimination, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel after you complete the elimination, you could do it by WhatsApp or one of the things.
Through a telephone conversation.
In terms of the format, I mean, that could be.
No, you can work on the format.
A lot of social media, you know, around. But I'm talking about, like, if you're going to have the public to select a people's choice, at what stage of the competition, do you do?
Well, that can be decided.
You know something?
Up to where part would suggest.
Up to
semis. Up to
semis.
Right. Okay.
The same is reasonable.
All right. Fine. So, and then you have to ensure, well, okay, are we just going to have the public select one of those moving forward to the semis, you know? Or are we going to have a combination of the public's contribution along with the judges? You understand?
A combination. I think a combination of the public. You leave a space for the public, or you could add the public to what you select.
Right.
It's one of them.
Yes,
you either leave one.
No. What I mean is, do you leave it up to the public entirely to make the selection? In other words, the people's choice, and they decide
on that one
calypsonian.
spot. Yes.
Or whether you would have them make their contribution, but combine that with the judges, you know.
You can look at both of them.
But the point is, I think that is
that's
something.
A formula. You put a formula together.
Yeah, and it's something that needs to be considered, right?
It could be people want you saying.
Yes, I think so. But with the judging, I believe what the Calypso Association needs to do, not necessarily have a confrontation, and I use the word confrontation because ultimately that's what it's going to be. If you bring the judges to face the public in a post-mortem or what have you, it's going to be confrontational. It is going to be. You're going to have difficulty.
So how are we going to educate?
No. Here's what I would propose. That you listen to the public. You provide the avenue for the public to give feedback, right, on the judging. You take that feedback along with feedback from other, maybe people who are targeted directly. There are people who know Calypso, who have contributed, who may be in a position to give good suggestions. You get that from them as well. You put that together and you use that information to organize programs for the judges. In order to train your judges. Right, I think.
Exactly.
But anytime you put the judges in direct, face-to-face contact with the public, you're going to have some problems.
But I'm not sure if you, because we have about 5 more minutes and I want to focus on a couple areas. A song was written for you by, I think, Hunter, done by Sai this year. You heard it in tribute to you.
Yeah, I heard it there.
What's your opinion of it?
It's a pretty good song. I know. I got different feedback from different people, but in my own opinion, I think it was a pretty good song, pretty good effort by Hunter and by Sai. And I was kind of expected to go further too, but...
You were kind of disappointed you didn't go to the finals.
Yeah. But
myself too, but then, like I said, the judge's decision in the final, I felt it was good enough, and the relevance, the topic was well dealt with. But again, like the judges, and then I need to ask you, how would you, Pat Aaron, like to be remembered by the Dominican public?
Songwriter, man who stands for what he believes in, and a man who tried to be fair and honest, and basically a man of the people, a man who live for the people, Calypso writer, most of all. Yeah.
I also want to give you the opportunity to dismiss the myth that people think that you are politically biased when you write about the issues, political issues of the day. And you have done that so throughout your career against several governments.
Against all of them, because when everybody knows that I have a certain sentiment toward the Workers' Party, but when I wrote Miracle, it was against the workers. No, right now, this present government have been in office for a much longer time. Three times, maybe 4 times that of any other government before. So they get longer stick from my pen because they've been there for a longer time. You know? But you know, that is, I don't think you can get away from that. That's just a part and parcel of the whole culture.
It's the calypso culture and
Yeah,
the
yeah.
passion for it.
Yeah.
And the ability to stand like a warrior for what you believe
Yes.
is truth and righteousness.
Yes.
Will Pateron continue to write calypso? Or do you have the ability to write calypso?
Well, I'm hoping I still do. So I intend to continue as long as I'm around. If I see it's getting too difficult for me, then I will leave. But for now, I still have a mind to write a few songs.
So hopefully we might hear from you again next year.
If I'm around,
From now on.
yeah.
Before you leave, I have a special something your sister sent me that I want to share with our public that they may not know. But then it was very interesting that she sent me a special, I am not seeing it now, but I can remember it off my head. But then she sent me some information about you, Pat, that you wrote for the Dumfesta, first ever Dumfesta Song Contest. Julia Aaron won that competition. You can remember, team? With a song written by Pat Aaron. No, you further went on. I'm not sure if you can recall, to write for one of your backup vocals the following year.
Fatney Stevens.
And won. You know, so apart from Calypso, that is the ability. I think the name of the song was Dumfesta.
Right.
She told me. So
Yeah,
the first ever competition, you wrote for your sister Julia Aaron and won. The second day, you wrote for one of your backup vocals and won. Final words, team, and we leave the musician to drink his coffee while we continue to celebrate because we're having two other sessions. We'll be having the Monarchs next week, and we'll also be having the Calypso Association to see how we can move forward in celebrating the heroes, the Calypso heroes, those who really excel. We know Alex Bruno did a Hall of Fame, but we want to do this while most of these guys are alive and to celebrate their life and what they have done. Tim, quickly, a minute and then Ghost.
Okay, very quickly, Alex. We've talked a lot about Pat, the musician, and Pat, the songwriter. We haven't said very much about Pat, the person. I just want to take a few seconds.
Yeah.
Pat's music generally, his calypso writing in particular, reflects this truth and social justice that he seeks throughout his life. He's been seeking. What I want to say is that what you see coming through the songs is Pat the man, you know. In real life, Pat is someone is an honest individual, someone you can depend on, someone who speaks truth to power, right? In real life. We're not talking only about calypso. I remember when I lived on High Street. Well, first of all, I have to thank him even now. I've done that before, but for his generosity and the rest of the family for allowing me to find a place with them on High Street. And it's part of who he is. I remember too when I lived there, he's the kind of guy, the person who's compassionate and who cares for other people. He thinks about other people. And I say this because I remember Pat calling me aside one day, saying to me on High Street, Tim, there are a couple of children, I think, in the area that you are godfather to, right? Don't neglect them. You performed the ceremony and so on, but you have to take it beyond that. And he advised me you have to begin to check them materially, and I never thought of that,
Yeah.
I was a young man growing up, and you think mostly about yourself and what you're going to do, and what you're going to buy for your girlfriend, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But Pat called me and I said, boy, and that's the kind of person that he was. You could depend on him. And we remember we started by saying that I was the band leader, right? But because Pat was so solid in the band, that's what came out afterwards. There was no hesitation when the time came to elect or to get a new band leader. for the entire band to agree unanimously that Pat should be our leader. So I just wanted to say that not only was he a fantastic songwriter, but he is a fantastic individual.
Ghost, you're a Republican, but is a Democrat. But you continue to be friends for life.
I'm a Democrat.
But is a Republican.
But you see what
Yeah.
I just have to say it was a pleasure. I'm not going to repeat anything. Basically what Tim said, we live together, and basically what Tim said is what I would have to repeat. You know, but I just want to say it was a pleasure and give you thanks that you're able to do this program so people can actually know what and who musician really was. Like I said, musician, we were like twins. Everywhere you see me, you see musician, you see musician, you see me. And quite a lot of people used to think we were brothers. You know, but well, we were brothers from a different mother. So we grew up together. We went to the sea together, to the river together. We went hunting together, and we ended up playing music together. And some people, yeah, and we did a lot of exploring, going to Guadeloupe, going to even Trinidad. We went to Trinidad. We actually did an album in Trinidad. Again, it was all about when musician was always in front, Sassem PRS. And when came at the end of it, when they figured, well, they were going to do the publishing, they realized we had already published the songs, and they got mad. Because just like Twaza, they wanted to take it for themselves. We did a second trip with Saltoon Gordon, and something went wrong, and one morning Gordon just told us, hey, get all your bags, everything. Let's go. I think Chubby and the rest were there first, about 3 bands. So we did quite a bit together playing music, and it was more like a brother. And even where we are now, that was where our holidays, school holidays used to be. You know, not in this house, but in a little wooden shack his father had. And sometimes when we got there, even snakes used to be inside there. You know, so we did a lot together. We grew up together, and it was my pleasure to be here, you know, yeah.
Thanks a lot, Ghost. It goes to see your red hat and to see Pat with his blue hat. Pat, final words. Pat, my brother, I want to really thank you on behalf of Dominica. I want to thank you on behalf of the government of Dominica, the people of Dominica, everyone, those in the diaspora. I want to thank you on behalf of Q95 FM. For giving us the opportunity to be here. I want to thank you for DNO for partnering. I want to thank the sign man for giving us this. He was off, as a matter of fact, overseas when I called him. And in one day, he got this gift to you. Pat Aaron, celebrating the life of Pat Aaron, musical legend. Also, Mo carried this live. We want to thank our producer, Pab and Sarah, for working the phones and getting everything organized. Thank you, the legend, the hero. We will continue the process. Next week we'll have the Monarchs, and the following week we want to have the Calypso Association, past and present, to talk about your contribution and how they can really celebrate the life of some of the greatest Calypsonians and writers. Most times the writers are left behind because you're only seeing those at the front. Thank you, my brother. God bless you. And I just want to remind you how much I love you. And stay safe. I was once a member of Mass Camp.
Still a member of Mass Camp, man.
Always, once a member, always a member. Yeah. All right.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you, team and Ghost. I want to mention, call out Ozzy Lewis, Coco Shield, and Lionel Laville. You know, these are guys who develop for the public. They're still there, and we kind of forget them, you know. So I want to remember to mention them. Particularly Ozzy Lewis, because I haven't heard anything from him for a long time. I know how, when it comes to calypso, yeah, one of the best judges. Yeah, so thank you everybody and
commentators.
Time, yeah.
Thank you very much, my brother. This was another Creole Heartbeat program. It's over through Master Control, Q95 FM. Until next week Friday, when we actually bring to life those who excelled, the MVPs in Calypso that Pat wrote for. I'm Leroy Prince Waddick. Charles, may God bless you. May God bless Dominica.
I working hard to see Dominica grow, to prosper in culture, music and calypso. Heart and soul I organize all festivals.